So this is the mid-module review. We've talked just a little bit about these two area models. In order to get these two problems correct, you have to have the area model where we've modeled it in boxes. You could go ahead and do the individual units, but the problem has to be solved using the area model. This problem focuses on your rules of zeros. And here we've sectioned it off where 300 times 2 is 600, 50 times 2 is 100, and 8 times 2 is 16, for an answer of 716. Get it?
Got it.
I can use any method on these four problems. I'm going to quickly go through 73 times 4. 4 times 3 is what? 12. 2 goes down, 1 goes up. 4 times 7 is what?
28.
Plus 1?
29.
29. You could have used a different method. That's fine with me. But in the end, your answer has to be 292 to get your problem correct. On B, I'm going to go ahead and use the area model on this one. This is 6 times 200, 60, and 8. Do you have to use that model? No, you could still use old school. That's fine. You're just going to check your answer to see if it matches mine. And 6 times 8 is what? 48. Checking that multiplication. I'll line up my partial products. So I get 8, 10, 6, and 1. My answer 1,608. As long as your answer matches, your answer is correct, because you can use any method. For C, it's a little bit harder. Now notice that there is a 0 in here. That tends to trick some people up because they forget what to do with this 0. I have a 0 in D also, so I'm going to do old school on this one, and I'll do area model on this one. So I have 1,203 times 5. 5 times 3 is what? 15. 5 goes down, 1 goes up. 5 times 0 is what?
0.
0 plus 1. So that's where the trick happens. My 1 goes down because I have to add that 1. 5 times 2 is what?
10.
0 goes down, 1 goes up. 5 times 1 is?
5.
Plus 1 is?
6.
So my answer is 6,015. Going on to D. On D, I'm going to go ahead and use the area model. And this is 4. I have 5,000. I have no hundreds. I have 40, and I have 3. I need to have this here so that I can remember it. Now, I don't have to, but it is helpful when you're lining them up so that you don't get them confused. 5 times 4 is what? 20. Good. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3. So I still have to add those 3 zeros. This is a common mistake that you forget to put one of those zeros down. 4 times 0 is? 0. 4 times 4 is?
16.
Add my 0. 4 times 3 is? 12. And I line them up. When I line them up, I'm going to put 20,000. I'm not going to add my 0 in. 12. I line them up. I get 2, 7, 1, 0, and 2. So my answer is 20,172. Down at the bottom, let me know how many you missed on that page. And turn the page. Okay, these asked you to do the read, draw, write process. This is where we use our 4-box method. I know that Michael earns $9 per hour. So I'm going to go ahead and do my M and my $9. This is where you write down what you know. It might not match mine exactly, but as long as you write down some of the things that you know, you do get a check on that box. Now, he works 28 hours each week. And each is my symbol that I'm going to do what? Multiply at some point, probably. Then, how much does he earn in 6 weeks? Now, if each week he works 48 hours, okay? So 28 hours, there we go. 28 hours, and he gets $9 for each hour. I'm going to multiply that, right? Now, in that case, $9 what? Per hour. Could I draw out 28 boxes? Yes. As long as you've attempted to draw something here, I'd give you the check because you're trying to figure it out. Okay? The 28 times 9 in my algorithm box is going to be 9 times 8 is what? 2 goes down, 7 goes. 9 times 2 is
18.
18 plus 7, 25. So I get 252, but this is just for 1 week. How many weeks do I have? 6. So I actually think this is where the drawing comes in handy, because this is 252. How many times? 6. But again, if you tried to draw the 28 or you gave me some information, you still get that box there. 252 times 6. 6 times 2 is 12. I'm going to regroup that 1. 6 times 5 is what?
32.
Plus 1 is?
31.
1 goes down, 3 goes up. 6 times 2 is? 12. 12 plus 3 is? 15. So my answer is 1,512. I'm going to write my statement. How much does he earn in 6 weeks? 6 weeks. He earns $1,512. Could I put the dollar sign symbol before the number? Yes, that's fine with me too. Dollars in 6 weeks. Your statement may be a little bit different. The main things that I'm looking for is, did you have a capital letter? Do you have end punctuation? And did you label your answer correctly? Get it?
Got it.
Now, David earns $8 per hour. He works 40 hours each week. And he's still going to work in 6 weeks. So I'm just repeating this process again, right? When I do that, I know that if he works 40 hours each week and he makes $8 an hour, I get to use that rule of 0, which I know I like a lot. There's only 1 0, so I'm going to put my 1 0 down. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 4 is 32. So I get 320. Do I stop here? No, this is that 6 weeks. Again, as long as you attempt to draw something, you still get that point. The drawing helps us solve those problems when we get stuck and we need to think through them. So I need to multiply 320 times 6. 6 times 0 is?
0.
6 times 12, or 6 times 2 is what?
12.
2 goes down, 1 goes up. 6 times 3. What is it?
18.
Plus 1?
19.
19. Now, in my statement, he, who is he?
David.
Could I use his name?
Yes.
Yes. He earns $1,920 in 6 weeks. Now, what's nice about these statements is it does help you when you get down to the third problem. After 6 weeks, who earns more money? How much more money? So I have 2 questions here that I definitely have to answer, right? Now, in this case, some of you might have chosen not to do a T, okay? I like to do a T here. I'm not going to take off if you didn't do the T here. I'm going to tell you what I am going to grade it on. What I would have done is I would have put David and Michael. It doesn't matter which order they're in as long as you get the right number. I know that David earned 1,920 and Michael earned 1,512. This was both in dollars. And then I have to do what? Compare them. Could I have drawn a picture still? Who earns more? David. David compared to Michael. Now, I like to draw the comparison problem too, because you're comparing two multiplication problems. And so I have 1,920 compared to 1,512, and this is greater than. If you did a comparison problem like this, I will give you a bonus point, because I think that this is really nice to compare the two numbers. If you didn't do it, that's fine. The one thing that I'm looking for you to write down is what you know about them, and then who earned more money, right? In this case, I'm going to use a subtraction problem. Who earned more money would be David earned more, and then I have to subtract. 10 minus 2 is 8, 0, 4, 408. He earned $408 more than Michael. So this problem right here is actually 408 is the number that's the difference. Do you have to have that labeled? No. Get it? Okay, I'm going to move on really quickly. I'll go back to your questions in just 1 second. Jennifer has 256 beads. Stella has 3 times. This is where we definitely want to use that model that we've been doing. Jay is 256. Stella is 3 times that. Tia has 104 more beads than Stella. So for Tia, I have to have S plus 104, not subtracting it this time. So I know what J is. I know that S, should have those connected, it's going to be 3 times that. And then to find Tia, I have to have 256 3 times plus 104. Now, in the end, how many beads does Tia have is my question. So really, all I have to solve for is this problem right here. I don't have to add all of them together this time. I'm not worrying about that. So I'm going to do 256 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 8 goes down, 1 goes up. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. 6 goes down, 1 goes up. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. For 768. Can I stop here?
No.
No, because I have to add that 104. So 768 plus 104. 8 plus 4 is what? 12. 2 goes down, 1 goes up. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. Now, I am counting beads. So, Tia has 872 beads. Now, this last problem is probably one of the trickier ones. There is a problem that is very similar to this, so I wanted to make sure that we went over it. I'm going to have to kind of go through it pretty quickly. So the Kirby Elementary School is building a new auditorium. The old auditorium and the new auditorium are the two that I'm comparing. So I like to draw a picture. In my picture, I will model. I have 3 rows of 12. Now, you might have done this in a different way, and that's fine. Please take a second to look over the problem on your review, because our time is running out in our recording.